Good afternoon. I pray all is well with everyone. Let's see, I've got my thing with me. Is it not here? Looking for my selenite ball. Um, it's not here. Where could it be? Anyway, okay. This video. I hope it's live. This video is Needed Conversations Part 1. And I'd taken a little bit of time to not just to gather my thoughts about this, but, to talk to certain people about resources because it's a needed conversation, like I said. So anyway, now, part of this conversation is talking about the word unity, okay? And they really wanted me to express this point because there's so many aspects of unity that people kind of overlook. And the first part, like I said from my last video, that we got to work on ourselves. So the first part is unifying within yourself, unifying all the aspects of you to make you, unifying yourself so you know who you are, know thyself. So in that space of knowing yourself, you can allow yourself to move a certain way. Once you know yourself, you can learn to Agboato Ashori Wariwafon. Yeah, how you doing? Once you know yourself and you're unified in yourself, you can unify your family. In unifying your family, you unify, you bring a level of understanding with your culture. Once you've unified within your family, with yourself and in your family and your culture, you can unify with your community. Once you unify in your community, you unify, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So the first step to unity is first of all within yourself. And one of the things that the issues that keep coming up, and I'm saying this in regards to conversations that I've had and situations that's come up. That's why I said that I've looked for resources. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, after the video, I'm going to post links to certain people's information for resources if anybody needs it. But one of the conversations is about, we talked about anger before. And one of the things that, in regards to men, should I say, that don't handle so well, whether it's trauma, pain, suffering, whether it's abuse, whether it's certain pains and sufferings that they've been in when they was younger. Because when you got somebody that's very angry right now, you have a lot of people taking it out on innocent people, whether it's in their relationships, whether it's their children. Just a lot of it is energy that is being built up through stuff that's happened to them in the past. We're dealing with a lot of oppression. So, oppressive men that have been oppressed in their younger days, don't want that to happen now. So in order to express themselves, it comes in a lot of frustration, a lot of anger. So in order to deal with these things, like I said, in order to access higher knowledge, we've got to work on certain things in ourselves. And the only way to work on things in ourselves is to have these kind of conversations. I don't know whether men are talking amongst themselves about, the trauma and the pains that they've been in, whether they've been sexually abused, whether they've been physically abused or emotionally abused when they was younger, and how it's affecting them now, or how they represent themselves or how they express themselves in this day and time. And that's the things that we have to talk about. And so when I say these things, a lot of things right now, because the planet is shifting, there's a lot of stuff that's coming up, a lot of stuff that's coming up to be addressed. And if you don't pay attention to those things, it can send you in a spiraling way. So when I say that these are the things that you need to talk about, so you work on these things. Just in this space of time of this COVID going on, there's been so many women that have been killed by their husbands or by their partners because everybody's been closed in a closed space. So that lets you know there's a lot, it's like a ticking time bomb. There's a lot of emotions that have been unaddressed and been expressed in violent ways. But in the same sense that I've said to you before, that you have victims that need healing. At the same time, perpetrators need healing. If you do not take care of that aspect, then you're going to have more victims. You're going to keep creating more victims. So if you as a man know that you've got anger issues, before you take that anger out on somebody else, you might want to talk to somebody or talk through with somebody in order to address these things. Because sometimes it's not as much as you're a bad and evil person and, you know what I mean, you've done wrong and you should just throw away the key. It's because it's a lot of things that need to be addressed. I've said this before. There's a lot of ancestral energy, a lot of ancestral stuff that we have to heal, we have to go through, we have to work through. And the only way to address that is to accept that it's existing within yourself. You know, we all have shadow. The thing is, nobody's exempt from certain spaces when it comes to shadow energy or shadow work that we have to work on ourselves. Nobody's exempt from that. We all have shadow things that we have to work on. We all have things that we've dealt with in our past that we don't know how to process that information or process the things that we went through, whether, like I said, physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse. You know what I mean? Many people have been through those things, but how do you address them? How do you move beyond that and be your own being is free? This morning I listened to was it August's interview, and I was very surprised that his expression for himself was about speaking of truth and his honesty, and whether I don't, is neither here nor there about the situation of him and Jada, but just his expression of his truth was quite refreshing. You know what I mean? For a man to be that vulnerable to express themselves about, you know, their own demons, their own issues that they've had to deal with. But this is the thing that we don't talk about. These are the things that we don't express. So they come up in very sordid ways. They come up in very inappropriate ways, and then they leave a mess in their wake. So I'm saying that in order for us to heal ourselves, our collective, our nation, our world, we got to start with us, the unifying in our own self, because you know when you've got there's anger that's going on with you, and you know before you step out to that anger, you've already got that feeling in here. It's those feelings that you feel before you react with it is what you got to acknowledge that is there. And the fact that you acknowledge it is there, that you can do something about it before you take the step to react, is best to respond. So anyway, one of the first things, like I said, I know that there's many men out there that have been through spaces of abuse or been attacked or been on the receiving end or the perpetrator, whichever direction you want to look at, that need assistance because they're walking through life with jaded... Oh, I thought I saw a spider. I'm so glad I didn't. But that are walking with ailments of themselves that they want to release, but they have no idea how to. They're not talking to their partners because, you know what, you don't even know if the people that you got in your circle are still dealing with the same abuse or the same mental space that the abuse has got them in, and don't know how to function. You know, so you'll find that, you know, when you know, there's many priests out there that divine, there's psychologists, therapists, there's so many people out there that are willing to listen and willing to help you through it. Because if we don't start helping each other through these things, we're going to continue the oppression that we've been in for so long. We already know that there's been oppression for many, many years of from the slavery and all of that stuff. So we're in need of some kind of, I don't know, psychological awakening of some sort within ourselves that we can work on within each other in order to create a better environment for our children to grow up in. You know, I told you already that the old way is gone. This new way, this new life that we're moving into, we've got to be prepared in ourselves emotionally to be able to live in it comfortably and receive the benefits of it comfortably. So we have to do the work on ourselves. There's no way around it. So again, the reason why I started off with the men is because as women, we all have, well, not all of us, a lot of us have a lot of outlets that we can go to and we can talk to and come across, and, you know, friends and women that we discuss things with. I don't know if men have that outlet like that. So I'm talking about those things to say, if you have a problem with anger, This is a problem, and it's not something that's supposed to reside with you. It's not supposed to stay there. It is letting you know there's something going on with you that you need to heal and release. That's why it's bubbling up in there. If you've got issues that you want to express but don't know how to express it, you need to talk to somebody about it, so you do not produce more issues. In domestic violence homes, the children that are raised seeing domestic violence sometimes are raised with that mental space in that if you hit somebody, you're showing love, or if that's accepted. There's so many dynamics, you understand what I'm saying. So these things have to be talked about so we can move through them. And even if it's just food for thought right now, even if it's a case that you know you don't want to talk to anybody about it, but you know there's something going on with you, if this is a seed that will grow and spark a conversation or spark you wanting to ask for help, then so be it. When you look at people that have been abused, a lot of them do turn into abusers themselves. So we really do have to work on healing all sides. You know, this is, like I said, this is a new way we're going, and the structures of systems that have been put in place over these years are not working anymore. So we got to find a way of healing and implementing how we want to move forward in our lives. And again, like I said, unity is not just a case where, oh, come by, yeah, we all come together, we're loving each other. No, we are to unify first ourselves and keep ourselves in balance. Once we've done that, we can express that with our families, in our cultures. When we've done that, we can unify in our communities, because that's one thing that in communities, not everybody's united at all. We could be worshiping, we could be praying to the same entities, to the same orishas, the same spirits, but there's no unity in there. Why is that? Because, you know, that separation has been so inbred in us that it seemed as normal, and it's really not. We're not here to normalize confusion or normalize, what's the word? Not confusion. What's the word? Well, normalize dysfunction. That's it. We're not here to normalize dysfunction. It's time to talk about the dysfunction so we can shift it and change it into what we want it to be. There's no way we can move forward without that kind of understanding. So that's why I started off with unity being about self first, and then progressing outwards. And then in regards to men and needing those resources or needing those outlets to speak about, you know what? I can't see properly. We understand. Yes, that hit home. Okay, I appreciate that. We've got to do this. We've got to stop the problems that we've been having, and it has been systematically put in place. So how do we strategically remove them from our vessels? How do we root them out now in this day and time so they do not become another problem that we're going to have to deal with in 100 years? We work on those things, and we actively work on them. We actually talk about them. You know, how many men have been abused and don't know how to function in this society without it still coming up and talking for them, expressing themselves, because that anger that they couldn't take care of back then, or the feeling of being so what's the word? The feeling of being so suppressed, that now that they're old enough to be able to speak out, it comes out in a very warped way, a very confused, very angered way. How do we address that? We address that by talking about it and discussing it. Some things are psychological. Some things that, you know, mentally it's been inbred in you that you are this kind of way. This is the only thing that you can deal with. Your environment. One thing that I have to understand, or one thing that I want to express, we all, as a collective of people living on this planet, on this earth, we all have issues, we all have gifts, we all have emotions that we all have to deal with. Nobody's exempt from these things. It's just how you process it. It's just how you're supported in this. When we talk about love, in your families, there may be people in your families that don't know how to express love, but it doesn't mean they don't have it. You know what I mean? Some people don't even talk about I love you, I love you. That wasn't something that, growing up, we didn't say those things. But I implemented that in my children and in my family. My mother and I never get off the phone without saying I love you. Before my father passed, and he would say it before I did. So I knew that because I changed that energy of I love you is very, very pertinent in my family. So it's almost like repetition of something good is what you start to implement. So, and that's why I'm saying we have to have these conversations. We have to heal our people. We have to heal our men. We have to heal our families. We have to heal our sons. We have to heal our uncles, our grandfathers. You know them old men that look bitter and miserable. They didn't start off that way. They didn't start off being bitter and miserable. Things happen in their life to create the space that they're in. So we have to have that kind of understanding or empathy to know that people go through things as to why they are the way they are. They may not understand how they can maneuver that energy, but as working with each other, with talking with each other, we have an outlet to be able to assist each other moving through that space. As I said before, anger is a letting you know that there is a problem. Divine love comes with the answers to move through that. If we can get to understand that, and loving self will have all the answers you need in order to move through it. And if you don't know it, then there's somebody next to you that will assist you with that. Like I said, I'm so thankful that I have elders that I can talk to. I have people that I can talk to. When I have a problem or when I have a challenge that I feel like I can't go through, I speak to somebody about it and they assist me with it. Nobody's exempt from it. And that's why I want everybody to understand we are all the same. We are all the same that go through different things with our own emotions. It's just how we process it and our perception of our situations that makes things different, make things stay where they are. So again, I'm not going to keep harping on that same thing. But again, men, if you are in need of support, there's resources there. I'm going to put some links in there. And if you, in your own space, have an outlet for men to connect with, if you're men out there that have got programs that are set up for men to talk to or to help work through these processes, then post it. Talk about it. We have to have these conversations. If we're going to change the world the way we want it, we're going to have to do the work to do that. We can't wait for the government or those people that systematically put us in this place in order to fix it. They're not trying to. They have systematically broken us down to the way we are now. And it's up to us. You see the younger generation, they're not stopping. You see the things that they're doing, the processes that they're putting in place, the protesting, all the things that these younger generations are doing, these millennials or whatever you want to call them. They're like, nah, this is not something that we want to relate to and accept. We're going to make the changes. So in supporting that, in that movement or that shift or that flow, let's continue with healing ourselves, healing our civilization, healing our families, healing our men, healing our sons, healing our fathers, healing our brothers, healing our husbands, healing our men. Let's heal them so we can stop the perpetuation of the abuse that keeps continuing on, so we don't keep losing women because see that certain men don't know how to control themselves, or abuse. We stop the abuse from stopping the abuse in the men, spiritually assisting them to heal that space or heal that angry ancestor that is now got a body that it can reside in to keep doing the crazy stuff that they did back in the day when they was doing it, when it was kind of hush hush. Oh, you knew you had an uncle that was a pedophile, but just don't go in a room with him, just don't be by yourself with him. Nah, that energy is still moving through our people. We heal it by spiritually healing and working through. We have to heal both sides so we don't create more victims, and that's a mentality. So anyway, I'm going to leave that there. That was my first conversation, needed conversation. I'm coming back with some more, but again, I love you, I love me, and again, I'm going to post some links to resources that I've come across, and if you have any, post them yourself so other people can link up. Just in the space of helping people, I've had people come in my inbox and ask me for assistance, getting guidance in their world, and it works. We have to talk about these things. It's not just talking. There are rituals and stuff that can assist people that have real severe mental instabilities. There are things that can be done. There's nothing on this planet that cannot be healed. Nothing. And me coming from an aspect of Ifa, there is nothing on this earth that Ifa cannot heal. Whether it's through ritual, whether it's through prayer, whether it's through ingesting something, whether it's whatever case you have to go through, there's nothing that cannot be healed. And so that's why I'm saying, when it comes to abuse and this anger that keeps being perpetuated from the oppression that we gotta say, free your mind and the rest will follow. We have to do that. But we have to do that, each one teaching one and working with each other. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there so I don't keep going on and on and on. But I'm gonna be back again with some more. But I love you again. I love me too. And I pray that we do this. You know, I still do my prayers at 5:55. I'm continuing that. They made sure that I continue that. So that's why I came on before the time so I don't miss it. All right, I love you. You take care and peace out.